it up. Son of a...
So a buddy of mine saw my video on table saw storage and asked about the device that holds my push sticks. I've been wanting to replace my prototype for a while, so I told him I'd make a couple and give him one. Now, if you don't own a table saw, you may want to skip this video right now. If you do own one, particularly a cabinet table saw, and are looking for a simple solution to keep your push sticks close by but out of the way, there is a decent chance this video could interest you. Here we have the prototype made of pine. You can see it's pretty beat up and the magnets are falling out. So I'm going to use an offcut of some white oak I have for the new ones. There's a pretty big crack in this chunk, but I think I have enough to work with. So I come up with a plan for the video, mark my lines on the oak, and get to work setting up my recording equipment and lining up my shots. Things are moving along nicely. I'm still pretty new to this YouTube thing, but I feel like I'm getting some decently good looking shots. I don't know. But that's when everything...
Okay, wait, hold on. I want to take a second to look at this frame here. This tenon and splining jig is awesome, by the way, and it's my first time using it. But the way that this metal clamp is so close to the top of the table saw blade, it really stresses me out just looking at it. I'm sure the camera angle makes it look a lot worse than it actually is, but this is going to take a little while for me to get comfortable with it. Not gonna lie.
Things are going fine until I do that one thing that every woodworker dreads. You're getting deep into a project, things are going well, then out of the blue, you become momentarily brain dead. What I meant to do was leave this cut well short of my mark to compensate for the blade. But I did it. It's kind of like the captain of the Titanic, adjusting course to compensate for the part of the iceberg that's above the water, but not compensating for what's below the water. Let that be a lesson to you kids.
You f***ed it up. Son of a...
At least I took it all in stride like a well-adjusted adult. Goodbye, little buddies. You deserve better. So back to square one. This time I choose to use a more conventional offcut. This will keep things simpler. So I grab my pencil again and draw out my lines. I grab a piece of 1/2-inch plywood scrap so I don't cut into my jig more than I already have. By the way, shout out to Brian at Garage Woodworks for this design on the tenoning and splining jig. I meant to do that earlier. I raise my saw blade to the right height and make multiple passes to get the cut to the right width for the table saw rail. And now it's time for some crosscuts. For some reason I do the next two parts in reverse. What I should have done was cut the notch out before trimming the piece of wood down. It ended up being fine, but it definitely added a little more danger. But what's life without a little bit of avoidable danger, am I right? Okay, let me pause the video real quick. I wear an Apple Watch, and it's super convenient when I'm recording, but I also kind of find it a little bit distracting when I'm watching the video. I'm curious if you all find it distracting as well. Let me know how you feel in the comments. Okay, so here I am cutting the notch out. Now I need to rip the piece into two smaller pieces. They don't fit in the rail just yet because the bottom of the rail has rounded edges, so I need to sand off the bottom edges of the piece so that they'll fit snugly. To sand the outside edges, I use a belt sander that I put in my vise. And to get the inside edges, I took a scrap piece of aluminum and put a little bit of sandpaper around it, and that worked perfectly. Now it's time to dado out the part where the push sticks sit. Unfortunately, with no dado stack, I once again had to make several passes. A stop block on each side helps me keep them a uniform size. All that's left is to sand down the ridges from dadoing with a combination blade and put a little finish on it. I just put one coat of Armor All Satin for a little bit of protection. So there you have it. Now you can store your push sticks close by but out of the way. And that's all, folks. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks again.